Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Mike, the property tax guy. Now, some renters point to stories like mortgage payments and property taxes, and they be like, look, don't buy. It's a trap. But others locked in bought their home at the right time while costs rose around them. In today's market, some spread fear, others stand firm in their decision. These are their stories.
Influence you from buying a house. Our AC just broke during a heat wave.
I don't like when people try to run people away from buying a house because it's one of the most beautiful experiences if you can afford it. And it looks like you're sitting in a beautiful car with a panoramic sunroof. And so you are living your best life. You are living nice. And there's nothing wrong with that because you're rewarding yourself. But the problem I have is don't try to turn people who haven't experienced or want to experience it away, because things break. It's a part of life. In our first home, we lived in it for 3 out of the 5 years. And in that third year, our AC unit went out. It cost $2,500 to fix, but I was always a responsible adult. I had a savings account, I had an investment account, and so I just paid for the AC fix out of my investments. I did not have to file it on the insurance, and I did not make a claim.
And that's one thing I want to stop right there. Now, a lot of people aren't educated enough. They don't know that part when it comes to buying a house, that when you do buy a house, it's not just, oh my God, you're just looking at the mortgage payment and hoping you have a low mortgage payment, like as far as like low rent. You have to factor in the cost of wear and tear with the property. You have to factor in the cost of updating a kitchen or updating a bathroom if you want to do that. Now, if you buy a home that's already fully renovated, you still have to take in consideration something could happen. You could have a termite damage. You may have to get that fixed. You could have a leak in the roof that could have messed up on new construction or a renovation. You have to get that fixed. These are all factors and costs you have to take into consideration. But like he said, it's no different than having a car. Like you having a car, you're going to have to get the oil change. You're going to have to get your transmission fluid change. And depending on how long you have the car, you may have to get a transmission change. But usually when that happens, you get a new car, of course. But well, some people do. But the thing is that you have to understand, like a tire rotation, all these different types of things that happen with a car, that happen with your house. There are always some type of maintenance of wear and tear that you will have to always do. But we do maintenance maintenance on ourselves. We go get haircuts, hair done. We go at the same time too, you update your wardrobe. So the house is no different. That's the biggest investment of your life financially. That's like the biggest investment of your life financially, and you have to really take that in consideration. So you may have to get that AC fixed. Sometimes if your AC breaks and you can't get it, you look at some AC units. I mean, there are things you have to do to be able to keep the functionality of your house up and working, and it's no different than having a car. Let's continue.
Now, yes, when you get a house, there are certain rules and standards that you have to live by. You have to live within your means, and you have to put back way more than you spend on frivolous things every month. Me and my wife, we just went to the movie yesterday. We spent $75, but we can do that because of how I have our finances set up. We go out, if not every weekend, we go out every other weekend. And so we do have an emergency savings. I have investments. I have crypto. I have everything. And so whenever you set your life up,
$75 for the movies is crazy, but unless I'm assuming it's one of those really nice movie theaters, the ones where you can drink in and you can eat and have to dine in and things of that nature. But let's continue.
like that, and not set it up on a, oh my God, I have to live in fear because if this happens or if this happens, it's going to ruin us. No, we keep having this argument, and my perspective is not going to change. I don't like when influencers come on here and try to scare people from doing something. If that's the case, then don't go out and get a brand new Yukon or a brand new Chevy Tahoe, because guess what? The 5.3s and the what is the other one? A 6.2 liter engine are giving people problems.
This is the thing, though, what I got from this right here is that be prepared. Always be prepared. You have to be prepared when you buy a car. You have to be prepared when you go on a vacation. You have to be prepared when you buy a house. And you have to take all of the factors that could happen into consideration. And a lot of people don't do that. They just rush and buy the house and think everything's going to be good. And I got the house of my dreams. I got the house and I never have to worry about no type of maintenance on it. It's mine forever. I've just got to make the mortgage payments. And really, you should be making the mortgage payments and doubling that to really pay it off, if you can, if you have that means. But the thing is being prepared. If you know more, you don't have to worry. And you have to take all these things into consideration and always be chopping at the wood, getting that house paid off, having your savings account on the side for a rainy day when it comes down to replacing the roof, the AC unit, just in case you may have a foundation issue, something happens with inside the home. Uh, Something needs to be replaced, a leak in the roof, like I said. So these things are always, important when it comes down to buying a home. Same thing when going on a vacation. You got to make sure you have your extra baggage. You got to. Some people keep cash on them with their card. Uh, extra clothes, extra shoes. They got swimming shoes. It's always something going on with your car, tire rotation. So pretty much what I'm saying is always be prepared, whatever venture in life you're going to take, and especially when it comes to buying a home, educate yourself around the whole playing field so you won't get caught behind.
How are people buying houses this day and age? Dude, I bought my house in 2020, and if I had to buy my house today, impossible. I don't know. I just don't get it. I've seen the interest rates. I've seen the prices of houses, and there's no way. I got lucky. I bought my house when I did. Oh, boy, am I grateful for that.
And that's one thing too as well. I bought my house in 2020 at a little over 2% interest rate. That's when times were really rough for a lot of people in 2020. Some people were losing jobs. Some people, were looking for jobs. Some people was, like you said, that there was a lot of things that were going on in 2020. So if you was able to buy a home in 2020, that was your time. Now, today, as of this video was recorded that he did was on July 16, 2025. Today, I'm recording this video September 20th, 2025. And as of today, it may be the right time for you to buy a home. It may not be the right time for you to buy a home. The interest rates just got cut by 0.25%, and may be the right time for you. Sometimes when the interest rate was a little higher for you at the time, and you had more money to spend and you had more money to put down on the house, and your financial situation was better, then it was the right time. Everybody's time is different. Your time may not be 2020 just because it was low. You probably didn't have the means of an income coming in at the time. Your time could have been in 2022. Your time could have been in 2024. Your time could be right now. My main thing, what I'm saying is don't get discouraged. It is, the interest rates are very high right now, but you want to make sure yourself, just like we learned from the last video, prepare yourself financially, put some money to the side, and being able to prepare yourself for whatever venture in life that you're going to take, especially when it comes to buying a home. There's a lot that goes into that process.
Yeah, I might be renting for the rest of my life. I ain't lying. I ain't got the 20%. I don't know how y'all got the 20%. I ain't got the 20%. Then on top of that, $300K ain't even getting you a nice crib. I'm not asking to stay in Beverly Hills. I just want to stay in a nice place, like the suburbs, a safe place. $300K is not getting you that. $300K is getting you either a shack in the hood or a 2-hour commute to work from the boonies. The boonies or the hood, pick your poison. Then let's just say I had it.
And that's all depending on where you live at. Different places in Virginia is where I'm at. There's different places in Virginia where you can get a good house for around $250. And there's some places where $250, like he's saying, it may not be the best. But that's why location matters the most in real estate. So you can be paying $250,000 in one area opposed to you paying $450 in another area. But in some places, in some areas, you may have a high desired property that may be at a lower value. You may have to drive a little bit from work. Most of the time anyway, most people that work in the city but live out in the county, even if it's a 15-minute, 20-minute drive, 30-minute drive, I know, understand nobody wants to take an hour commute to work. And there are some people that do it. Like in here in Virginia, there are some people that work in DC and come all the way down to the Hampton Roads area, the 757 on the weekend. Same thing with Richmond. Some people that live in DC, work in DC, but they're coming down to Richmond. Some people work in DC and go down to North Carolina just to get a good value on the house, and now you may be saying and thinking like, look, I ain't better do that. I'm not about to be driving over 100 miles just to go back and forth to work. Most people that have those type of jobs like that, those jobs are making well over 150K. Most people like that do those types of commutes have like I said, over 150K. They got 2 houses. But the average individual lives like somewhere in Richmond and lives somewhere in work in Richmond but live in Chesterfield County. Work in Richmond but live in Henrico County. Work in Virginia Beach but live in Hampton. Work in Newport News and Hampton and live in Yorktown. These are like 20-minute drives from wherever the location is. Now, ideally, everybody wants to live in the same city of where they work at. Now, it's very possible that can happen, but there are pros and cons to doing that. But like I said, most people, like even if you want to take your big cities, You know, some people would live like they would work in Manhattan, but they don't live in Manhattan. They live like somewhere in Long Island. Some people in Miami may not live in Miami. They live somewhere, they may work there, but they live on the outskirts somewhere else. Same thing with California. Like somebody may work in San Diego but live in a different area around it. This happens all the time in the country. This has been going on for a long time. It's not nothing new of here in 2025. It's just you just have to watch it more now in 2025 because interest rates are going up, property taxes are high because of the property tax rate of the localities. But these are things that we all experience as a country as a whole.
20%. I got the crib I wanted. I'm in the suburbs. Who has the closing cost? Who has housing maintenance if something goes wrong? We're talking about dropping unlimited money already on a crib. Now I'm in here and you telling me I can't just call maintenance and they come fix it for free? I got to pay for my washing machine when it break. If plumbing screw up, I got to pay for that.
Yeah, and these are types of things, just like the gentleman in the first video said. Like, it's the same thing that comes down with having a car. The car that he's in, it looks like it's very nice. I can see the roof on it. You know what I'm saying? So like, these are types of things that you do take in consideration when you buy a house. You have to be prepared. You have to have the finances to the side. And then at the same time, like, yeah, the wash machine, I remember my dryer broke in my house. What did I do? I looked it up and I replaced the part. The part cost $5.50. But it took me doing a little bit of research, figuring that out on my own. For example, now when it comes down to plumbing, had some hair stuck in the drain. I got to get on my hands and knees and scrape it out with a snake. You know, these are types of things when it comes down to having a home you have to do on your own or hire somebody to do some things. And also too, fixing that plumbing issue was only like $5 too as well. Getting the snake from Family Dollar. I didn't even need no one from Lowe's because it wasn't that serious. Even one from Lowe's would cost you about $45, $50, and you keep it all the time just in case that happens again, because it will happen again, especially if you have kids. So these are types of things that happen when you own a home. Like, you always going to have some type of maintenance. You're always going to have some type of something to put to the side because you never know when that rainy day is going to come. You understand what I'm saying? So don't let anybody discourage you from buying a home. But just like he said, and just like, you know, the lady said in the beginning, a lot of people aren't aware of these things when they get into it. And people like them and in their situation and stuff of that nature, I mean, it also too depends on what you value. And some people don't want to go through the rigmarole. Like, I understand some people don't want to deal with all of that. And it's probably their situation too as well.
Not allow these homeowners that get on TikTok and swear that their mortgage went up hundreds of thousands of dollars because of property taxes scare you from being a homeowner. A good majority of them pay a mortgage every single month, but they do not understand how property taxes work. They do not understand how their escrow account works. They do not understand how homestead exemptions work. They do not understand how to dispute the property tax estimate that comes out before they actually get the bill. They do not know how to get on the phone.
And that's one thing I want to stop right there. Like I'm an appraiser, also work for the assessor's office, so I know how the property tax part works. Right. So a lot of people don't know this. I mean, a lot of realtors don't educate them on this, don't tell the owner, don't tell their potential buyer or anything of that nature. They're just trying to hurry up and put them in the house. I'm not saying that's what she's doing, but a lot of realtors do that too as well. And a lot of times they do it because they're trying to get the sale, of course, but also at the same time, they don't know much about it themselves. And that's not every realtor. And it's a good majority of them. They don't know how that works too as well. A lot of people don't know how to dispute the property taxes, don't know how to challenge them, don't know what to look for to be able to get a lower property tax bill, because that's included inside of your mortgage. And I think the thing is, the number one thing that we're getting from this whole entire segment is to not be discouraged from buying a home, is to be encouraged. Your timing is your timing. And when that time comes, nobody can stop you. Just make sure you prepare. Follow all the rules. You don't want to pay more than 30% of your income. You want to put some money to the side. You want to continue to build your savings while you have your house. And just because so you can know what's going to happen later on, you never know what's going to happen later on with your home. Let's continue.
And talk to their loan service provider and discuss how they're going to be able to afford their mortgage. It's so much they don't understand. Do your own due diligence. As with anything that you're going to buy for hundreds of thousands of dollars, base your decisions based on your personal finances and understand that it's your responsibility to know the ins and outs of home ownership, not your realtor.
And that part right there, I agree with partially, but essentially it is true. But in the end of the day, your realtor is supposed to be your guide. They are your guide to help you understand and learn more. So you need to get a realtor that you're going to trust, so you can be able to ask them about property taxes, ask them about mortgage payments, ask them about insurance, how that goes, this, that, and the third. Not just somebody to help you buy a house. You got to understand the realtor is more than just a person helping you buy a home. I know sometimes a lot of realtors say it that way, but we're more than just, you know, a license to buy a house. You know, because if we're just a license to buy a house, it's no point of you hiring someone like myself or anyone else just to help you look at a house and just to help you be able to view a house. You know, we're supposed to be there to help you and guide you. Now, we can't do everything for you, but we can do everything in our ability to be able to give you the most help and the best help that you need when it comes to understanding how the home ownership works, how mortgage payments work, how your property taxes work. And that's why I want to encourage everybody and let everybody know that these types of things and these types of situations, don't be scared of missing out. Like everybody's saying through this video, do not be discouraged. And like some other people had some discouraging things to say, but that was more so their personal testimonies, their personal stories. I just want to encourage everybody and just let you know, like, look, go ahead. If it's your time, to buy that house, pray on it. If it's your time, you got everything together, pull the trigger. I don't know if you can say that in today's society, but do your thing, buy the house. You know what I'm saying? If it's not, don't get it. But don't do anything out of fear of missing out, but also don't rush into anything either. But if anything, take time, prepare, plan, pray. Prepare, plan, pray. Or pray, prepare, plan. All right? I go by the name Mike the Property Tax Guy from MTG Real Estate Services. Have a blessed day.